Coming up on this edition of the Newsfeed, we will be taking a look at The Retreat, one of the newest cottage-style housing units for students living off campus. Plus, a glimpse at the unique pastime of one Virginia Tech student whose hobby is collecting insects around the campus and in the community. And a story about an organization that collects various items such as books and laptops to sustain libraries in areas where educational materials are more inaccessible. Those stories and more just ahead. Hello, and thanks for joining us for this edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Maria Dobbs.
And I'm Ariana Everett. For the past few weeks, drones have been tested at the Virginia Tech Transportation Institute. Project Wing delivered Chipotle burritos via drones to Virginia Tech students. Students placed their orders and watched as the drone promptly flew in with their burrito package and carefully dropped it at a loading zone. Chipotle burrito delivery was used to test the abilities of the drones to deliver packages in general. Project Wing hopes to be able to deliver other materials in addition to food using drones in the future.
Montgomery County has been expanding and renovating many of the roads and buildings in the past year. One major change is the new Animal Care and Adoption Center near the county's Frog Pond recreational area. The new Animal and Adoption Center is over 16,000 square feet with an outdoor courtyard. This is the first center in the Montgomery County area with a capacity to house 68 dogs and 64 cats. Eileen Mahan, director of the new center, shares the shelter's upcoming visions and goals.
We really want the new shelter to be a center for the community, a place for people to come and have it be a resource. They can get spay neuter, vaccinations, information, pet training classes, different events, like agility competitions and stuff like that. Really make it into a destination and not just a place where, stray animals are kept.
Right now, the Animal Care and Adoption Center is still under construction. The center plans to finish building at the end of the year and hopes to open in the beginning of 2017.
This past August, the highly anticipated new housing complex, The Retreat at Blacksburg, opened its doors to residents and is redefining the concept of upscale apartments in small-town Blacksburg. With amenities ranging from an Olympic-style volleyball court, a PGA-quality indoor golf simulator, and a resort-style pool and fire pit, The Retreat has made college living more luxurious than ever. Describing itself as a home away from home for students, taking the risk of signing an 11-month lease to a new complex, current residents are pleased with their choice and say The Retreat has lived up to their expectations.
We were kind of scared that it wasn't gonna be done. So we were preparing ourselves for living in a hotel for a couple weeks or whatever. So it's been lived up to everything.
Apartments like The Retreat have been a trend in college towns across the nation. Other retreat complexes, all with the same resort-style layout, are located at colleges in Pennsylvania, Texas, Delaware, and Florida.
The increase of residents living in downtown Roanoke may very well be responsible for its comeback over the last 10 years. Nearly 40 buildings downtown have been repurposed for residential properties, and today over 1,600 residents occupy them. Caitlin Frazel has more on this story.
No backyard, limited parking, and the sound of traffic out of your bedroom window may sound crazy to most people, but for some, that's what they call home.
I'm a people person. It's part of my job, and I really like being where all the cool things are going on, and that's what downtown is.
A typical downtown apartment ranges anywhere from 500 to 1,000 square feet on average. This one-bedroom, two-bathroom unit is located in the Hancock Building, which was once Grand Home Furnishings. It's just over 800 square feet and features a balcony and a lofted area that's been turned into a game room.
Downtown is pretty busy, and there's always something going on, which I really love. So there's always something for me to do, and I don't ever get bored.
Some buildings feature amenities like workout facilities, movie theaters, free coffee, and discounted spots in downtown Roanoke parking garages. But overall, many people wonder exactly what it is that draws people to the downtown residential scene.
Downtown Roanoke is not the downtown Roanoke of 10, 20 years ago. It's something brand new, funky and fun and cool. And a lot of people are kind of that secret is getting out to a lot of people, and it's being embraced all over.
Most apartments are within blocks of the farmers market, Elmwood Park's new amphitheater, and several restaurants and bars.
I would offer the opportunity for people to come and experience it themselves. Come down and see what Roanoke has to offer, downtown Roanoke, both in the aspect of living, residential, fun, work, play. It is a full spectrum life experience down here.
For more information on downtown living, visit www.downtownroanoke.org. This has been Caitlin Fursell reporting for the Newsfeed.
Just ahead on the newsfeed, a segment about Humans of Virginia Tech, a platform spotlighting aspects of the lives of Virginia Tech students through various social media outlets. And a glimpse at the unique pastime of one Virginia Tech student whose hobby is collecting insects around the campus and in the community. That story and more after this break.
Loves everything and anything about insects.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up?
Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to the newsfeed. Unless you were living under a rock this past week, you realized that it was homecoming here at Virginia Tech. From Wild and Out to Hunter Hayes and even to the football team's root of ECU, Virginia Tech put on a show all week that proved that even the oldest of alumni could still call Blacksburg home. For more on this, here in the news is newsfeed reporter Louis Collazo.
2016 homecoming week has a different feel for Virginia Tech's core cadets as they held their annual alumni ceremony this past Friday in the center of the drill field. The ceremony highlighted the returning members of the class of 1966. The current core presents itself in front of former members to show that those in attendance that the traditions that were taught in the past are being upheld to the highest standard. With alumni watching who also experienced performing the same ceremony, the cadets understand the importance and pressure of executing this ceremony with exact precision, especially when being looked over by the inspecting dignitary of the service.
It's an honor to be part of the tradition, to go out and do the passing review for the alumni 66. I've been here for this is my 4th year, so I've done it for several class years, and for me especially, these few years that I've been here in the alumni 64, 65, 66, they were responsible for creating the skipper, which is a huge tradition, and to be the cadets to honor them is just, it's incredible. It's a great experience.
For the newsfeed, I'm Louis Collazo.
Home to a variety of wildlife species, the duck pond is a popular place to visit in Blacksburg. While many people go there to feed the ducks, fish, exercise, sit and watch the sunset, one Virginia Tech student goes to hunt bugs. Newsfeed reporter Elizabeth Souther has more on the story.
When you see a bug, what is your first reaction? Scream? Kill it? Run away? Well, for Julia Horrocks, a junior food science major with a minor in entomology, her first reaction is to get her butterfly net and catch it.
I love bugs. I relate a lot to bugs. They fly around. I wish I could fly around. That'd be pretty cool. But they inspire me because they can do so many things, and they're so much stronger than we are, and they can build their own houses and hunt for food, and they're just pretty cool.
Horrocks loves everything and anything about insects. So much so that she has collected over 60 insects.
Julia loves to collect bugs. She has like a huge collection. It's very organized, meticulously placed. So all their insects are pinned and labeled. It's really cool.
If you're ever at the duck pond, be on the lookout for Horrocks, as she hopes to collect 100 different insects before the first frost sets in. This is Elizabeth Souther reporting for the newsfeed.
Virginia Tech graduate student Mohammed Mwenye is from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. He began an organization called Soma Sasa, which collects books and laptops and fundraises money to build and economically sustain libraries in places where educational materials are inaccessible. After becoming a member of the Blacksburg Library, Mohammed saw the limitless resources it has to offer, which inspired him to start this organization. He collects books from Virginia Tech students and from places all around Blacksburg, such as Margaret Beeks Elementary. To donate to Soma Sasa, Mohammed describes some of the work Soma Sasa conducts in Blacksburg.
Back at home, we don't have libraries. People with books who would like to donate, they reach out to us. Also, we did percentage night with Wicked Taco and Top of the Stairs. If there's anything I could do to give back in my community, then it's going to be a library, because that helps people to expand their horizon.
With one library already built in Tanzania, Mohammed is currently looking for more student members who are interested in helping Soma Sasa pursue its mission to improve global literacy.
The Virginia Tech School of Performing Arts starts off their theater season this week with the play Claiborne Park. The sold-out Claiborne Park will be showing every night for the next week over in Squires at the Studio Theater. A lot of time and hard work goes into getting these shows ready for opening. Newsfeed reporter Maggie Goff has more on this report.
Tech Week is the week leading up to the opening of a show where the cast and crew finally join together on the finished set and incorporate the props, lighting, sound, and costumes. The designers join in to add all of their elements to the show and get it in perfect shape for opening night. As rewarding as this week is for the production team, it also takes a lot of work.
Usually the first day of Tech, when I get to see kind of how the actors react the first time they're in the light, and when they kind of have that moment of, oh, you just see their energy jump, you get to see that creation, because they've been working in a set, they've been working in an area, but then you add the lights in and you just built a world. It can be a little bit stressful, we're working long hours. Usually I get in here at 8 o'clock and I'm here till at the end of 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm here till the end of the evening when it comes to Tech Week. It's definitely by far the busiest week that we have in the theater.
Teching a show is a very collaborative process that involves a lot of trial and error work. Each designer has their own components of the show that they must focus on and worry about, and Tech Week is their time to figure everything out.
I think the hardest part about Tech Week for a costume designer is figuring out how things like quick changes happen, or things like where things are set, because definitely once you're in a show, you have a rhythm to it, and trying to find out that rhythm can be tricky. I like when it's all finished. And then people are seeing it and it looks right and what you wanted. Final dress is a time where everything's completed.
This is Maggie Goff reporting.
A relatively new group on campus called Humans of Virginia Tech is attracting a larger and larger audience every year. Based on the photography group Humans of New York, Humans of Virginia Tech is here to share the lives of Hokies with others in the Blacksburg area. Each week, members go out and find Hokies to interview and share their story with photos, videos, and texts. These stories are then shared via Instagram, the Humans of Virginia Tech website, and various other social media outlets.
Virginia Tech's goal is to show every Hokie to every other Hokie. Everybody has their story, so as long as we all learn about each other and each other's story, we become closer as a community. And so we can use that to further learn about all of our differences and just become one bigger united community.
With the growth of Humans of Virginia Tech, students can expect to see more of these stories, each of which shares a glimpse into the life of a fellow Hokie. In turn, these students, residents, and Virginia Tech staff are what makes the Blacksburg community so strong.
Just ahead on the newsfeed, Bailey Engel and Louis Collazo will join us from the newsroom to talk sports.
There are a lot of exciting football games this weekend. We'll see who the newscasters' picks are to win. That story after this break.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome to Newsfeed Sports. Bailey Engel, Luis Collazo. We got a big weekend in college football coming up, probably the biggest weekend we've had so far this year. And we're starting out on Friday with Stanford playing at Washington. Luis, who you got?
I'm going to go with Stanford in this one, Bailey. You know, Christian McCaffrey, very dynamic player, can do it all out of the backfield. I'm going to go with Stanford. I think Stanford's going to win in a close one, 21-17.
Well, the Huskies defense giving up 195 yards again. I'm going to have to agree with you. 35-24, Stanford wins this one. Christian McCaffrey a little too tough for that Huskies defense. Moving on to the SEC, we got another big game. Tennessee playing at Georgia this weekend. Tennessee ranked number 11, Georgia dropping to number 25. Pretty big SEC matchup as well.
Joshua Dobbs is a story in this game too, you know. Last week, came back from 21-0 deficit against Florida. They hadn't beat Florida in 12 straight years. I expect a big performance out of Joshua Dobbs and the Tennessee Volunteers. I'm going to go Tennessee wins big in this one against Georgia.
Well, I think I got to agree right there. The Vols are going to win this one 35-21. Georgia struggling a little bit after their loss to Ole Miss. Now we go to the Big Ten. Wisconsin travels to the Big House. They're number 8. The Wolverines are number 4. This is a huge matchup for the Big Ten. A lot of playoff implications in this one.
And I'm going to take the Badgers in this one. You know, the Badgers had Michigan State on the road, took them down, had Oregon at home, beat Oregon in a thriller of a game. I'm going to take the Badgers. I don't think Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines can hold on at home in this game.
Well, I got to disagree with you there. Michigan, with a big win last week at the Big House against Penn State, opened up conference play pretty well at the Big House. It's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be 35-31 Wolverines. But now we go to maybe the biggest game of the weekend. Louisville, traveling on the road, going to Death Valley. They're number 3. Clemson is number 5. A huge game in the ACC. A ton of playoff implications right here, just in that Atlantic division in the ACC. Luis, this is huge.
And you mentioned the ACC. The ACC is probably the top conference in the country right now, especially on that side. You have Clemson, Louisville, and Florida State all on the same side. But in this game, I think Louisville is way too much. Lamar Jackson is way too much of a dynamic player to stop. So I'm going to go Louisville big in this one.
Should be interesting to see how Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson both face off against each other. 2 big quarterbacks with Lamar Jackson, 7 touchdowns against Marshall and 5 against number 2 Florida State a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to go with the Cardinals in this one, 40-35. Should be a humongous weekend in college football. Back to you guys in the news desk.
Thanks, Bailey and Lewis. Well, that will wrap up this edition of the Newsfeed. If you have a story idea for the Newsfeed, let us know. Send us an email at thenewsfeednrv@gmail.com. And as always, you can also connect with the Newsfeed on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching. I'm Ariana Everett.
And I'm Maria Dobbs.